Great job, great job. Hi guys, this is Super Stan from Beware Labs, representing the Blast API on the Aptos platform. And here we're going to move on to our next session. Our next session will be moderated by me and joined by our guests. So just a quick introduction. Blast API is a RPC API that basically a platform that integrated with more than 18 different blockchain networks. Of course, we have our Aptos is integrated into the platform. We're pretty cheap, very fast. You guys feel free to try it. Yeah, guys can reach out to me. Okay, here done with the advertisement part. Let's get into business. This session, the topic will be unlock the power of Move communities. Let's. Our agenda is basically three parts. We're gonna have the first 5 minutes, have a bit of a welcoming and also introduction, and then we're gonna have some topic question discussion. Then we're gonna have some final thoughts, and during the whole discussion, feel free to reach out and leave comments, and we will take some questions from the audience as well. Okay. Let's start. Who should I bring on? Let's unmute some of the other members who's joining this panel, and feel free to make yourself an introduction and your projects. Do we have volunteer?
Yep, I can go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Yep. Hi. My name's Cernach, and I'm I'm head of PR and marketing at Aptos Launch, and we're one of the biggest and most active launch pads on the Aptos blockchain. I suppose an introduction for myself. I suppose I've got a different sort of background to most on here, to most of my peers. Before the pandemic, I was a biomolecular scientist, and I was running 2 research labs in Europe, had about 20 PhD students. Then the pandemic came and things changed, and I started to lose my passion for science, and I really got into blockchain technology, and I really immersed myself into that, and I've been in the space about 3 years. I've worked on a few projects in Binance and Polygon, and then I got really involved in, or just really interested, I guess, in the Aptos community, and by extension the Move community, and that was around early summer. And then I took the position on Aptos Launch around the end of the summer. Thanks.
Cool. Yep, let's welcome next. Who's in the Morphis here?
Hey everyone, I can go next. Hey all, my name is Daniyal. I am a software engineer by trade. I am the community manager of the ZeroL network. ZeroL network is a community-driven and truly decentralized blockchain, which we forked Libra from Facebook exactly the day it was announced in 2019. I've been part of the OL network for some time now and have been involved in almost all the activities within our project, such as running a validator, engineering, governance, or hosting events. And I want to say on my last note, props to the Pontem team for organizing such a significant event with this many speakers. Really well done, and I'm glad to be here with you all.
Awesome. From ZeroL Network, next.
Hey guys, I can go next. Hello, hey, thanks for having me. My name's Dee, and I'm the co-founder of Morphis. So we are currently building on the Three ecosystem. We are building a suite of tools and services for NFT and game communities. We decided to join the Three family because of the narrative of Three is going after. They're going for mass adoption and also very strong focus on the game and in real world use cases, which interests us a lot. So we are actually building a few different tools and services. Right now, we already launched the wallet app that has NFT discovery features built in. And we also building up the social feature directly inside the wallet. After that, we actually having a few partners lined up on the 3 ecosystem to working on a token distribution system that can be, initial game avatar distribution or NFT initial whitelisting. That's something we have in the make, should be released in the next few weeks. Glad to be here today.
Welcome, Morphis. Just another note, we also support Sui network on our API for the RPCs. So feel free to try it out. Okay, let's welcome next.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah, okay. So here is Jjuunee, the CMO of Omni BTC. I'm honored to be invited here, and thanks to the organizer, Pontem. What we are contributing is Omni BTC, which is the first omnichain financial platform based on one pool, and which allows users to cross-chain swap, borrow, earn with one click. We are contributing on both Aptos and Sui, but more focusing on Sui network. Now, users can experience the cross-chain swap between EVM chains and Aptos by using Omni BTC, and can also experience the cross-chain lending demo in Sui DAppNet. Yes. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys. And have I missed anyone here? Okay, if not, then we will get into our question discussion session. The first question, I'll just open up to our panel, which is, what has been your favorite thing to come out of the Move community since launch? Okay, do we have a volunteer to take this first question?
Yeah, I suppose I gotta have a go. Well, I would just say that I'm primarily interested in Aptos, so I apologize if any of my answers are
okay. So can you hear me?
Yes, not a problem.
Yeah, to be honest, for us, I think our favorite thing in the Move community is the value of Move language itself. The value of Move may be greater than some public chains based on it in our mind. First, we think Move put forward the idea of resource-oriented programming and abstract something called resource. So users can easily define any type of resource and can also define how the resource can be operated. This gives the following characteristics. First, more security through the separation of resource definition and control authority, static type, genericity, modular system, and also the formal verification and other characteristics. It makes smart contract more suitable for its asset-oriented situation, and it can also guarantee the security of digital assets from the level of smart contract. And second, the smart contract in Move language is more compatible in our mind. This can save the block space operated by the contract and make it easier to optimize the upgrade. And third, the threshold of Move is lower than Solidity, and there will be a low level comply to further lower the development threshold. So in our minds, if Move language is successful, it will bring a brand new way of programming. So from this perspective, the value of Move is greater than the value of the public chain based on it in our mind. Yes.
Thank you. That's a very good summary of some of the new things that come out from the Move ecosystem. Do we have any other comments? Anyone else want to add something here?
I would like to add something, but first I would like to hear from Cernach because yeah, he was explaining
thank
something.
you. Yeah, I thought people couldn't hear me, so yeah, I would just suppose I would be focusing on a few things that have happened in Aptos, obviously with Sui not launched, and I'm not as familiar with the other Move options. And I suppose as I said, as an academic, I love to research in cryptocurrency and its adoption. And if you look at the qualitative research on it, complexity comes up time after time, whether it's factor analysis, linear regression, modeling. So I'm really excited about anything that tries to address that. And I've heard a couple of examples earlier, I think in the wallet ones. But the first one I'd love is Chingari, and this is the Indian social media app. And they're also expanding into other Asian countries. I think social media, obviously with Move, with its roots in it, but also if you look at demographics of crypto, it's still very much male-dominated space. Especially if you look at the US, one of the biggest markets, it has a majority female population, so that's a huge untapped market. So whether Chingari remains a nation phenomenon or whether it expand into other markets and fill that niche, maybe in the US, Africa, and Europe, or globally, remains to be seen. But I think it's all good. It ties into Moved roots. And another social media example would be the Martian wallet. And they're just removing the complexity of, say, for example, minting an NFT by something and replacing it with something simple and mundane, as retweeting something that people do every day, Also, Blocktour, another app that removes a lot of the complexity in creating wallets, as we heard discussing over, and the integration of wallets. And also, I really like what Wayne and Nutrus approach in their app. And they have like a Tinder meets Uber crossover, Dinder, and whereby you just become a member, and whether it's through email, Google, or Apple, the user has a light wallet created to it, and then through using the app, you're incentivized through a flow of value that the user will then do the complex bit and then create, and then you're onboarded more people, and I think that will benefit the whole ecosystem as a whole. Thanks.
Nice. That's a really good overview of the whole ecosystems and some really interesting app. Daniel?
Yeah, that was great indeed. So on the question of what has been your favorite thing to come out of the Move ecosystem since launch, I think we've launched the Move community. We forked it on the first day that it was released. And interesting fact is that since then, we were the first team outside of Facebook to write Move intermediate representation code. And from the beginning, the vision was to provide a regulatory safe infrastructure that enables entrepreneurs to build gadgets to provide value, with the idea that our product is not tied to its vendor. And you're going to hear this from me a few more times, but so that we've done that without a foundation or centralized treasury for bootstrapping the project. And to me, that's very fascinating as someone who joined the project a bit later after it was founded.
Yeah, I'm actually in your Discord and really interested to see the different type of model that you guys are advocating. So, I wish the whole network is growing strong and getting more support from the community. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Next question we have, what can individuals do to grow and support the Move community? Anyone likes to take this one?
Yeah, hey, I can talk about this. So there are different perspectives to these questions. One thing is from project perspective, what we can do to promote and grow this ecosystem. What we're trying to do at Morphis is we try to bring more real world use cases and solving this pain point that other project teams can't really solve in a different ecosystem. Trying to bring innovations over. So make it a smooth start for anyone to build on top of Move ecosystem, both from a community building perspective or getting the traction. That's one thing. From a user perspective, I think generally the Move ecosystem is new. On its own, I think it's a good thing to attract new blood over to the whole space. One thing I observed is really this new generation of users coming to blockchain or Web3. They are very chain agnostic, or they very light on the chain, or let's say the language itself. Users coming for the right applications, and they care about the application layer more. So it's very interesting way to attract these people, given that other ecosystems are more mature and taking more time to grow up. We are actually having a great opportunity to onboard all these new users over to a completely brand new ecosystem. So I think that's something individual can spread over, inviting friends over, and start exploring this new ecosystem with all these brand brilliant applications built on top.
Awesome. Great. Do we have any other views? I see Daniel or
Yeah. So I think we need to play the long game in here. So there is an opportunity, since Facebook gives us the code, to play the long game, and that's at least what we are trying to do at OL. And what do we mean by the long game is that we are designing the chain for the day that blockchains are commodities. And when a blockchain is a commodity, it becomes a differentiating factor. And the only thing that matters at that time is capital and our ability to produce alternative capital. And what I mean, or what we mean by alternative capital, is that something that does not rely on the government, banks, and existing establishments. And we can make that capital real. And a better capital, alternative capital, is something that we need. And we are really focusing on building the most loved token based on that. So our long game that we believe should be the focus of the Move community and individuals to push for that is just focusing on the long game.
Great. Do we have? I saw that Steve was. Were you unmuting for a bit before that?
Yeah, I actually wanted to speak on some things, but everybody was kind of hopping on it, so I just decided to and stay mute for a while. So I feel that part of the ways that individuals can what they can do to like grow and support the Move community is like they can try to contribute to open source projects. Like, one of the most effective ways to support the Move community is by contributing to open source projects like the Move standard library, like which provide like essential building blocks for smart contract development. Like, developers can contribute code, documentations, things like bug reports, and like other forms of support to help improve these projects and make them more accessible as like to a wider range of users, you get. And another thing that individuals can do is to build and share tools and resources. They can share it, they can help developers and users to like with the Move language. Like tools and resources can include like frameworks, tutorials. Yeah, tutorials is a very and key major factor, because the Move is a relatively new language, so not many people are acquainted to it. So creating tutorials, frameworks like libraries will help more people to come into the Move community and the ecosystem as a whole.
Thank you. I think this is really great so far. And time concern wise, we have to move to the next question. What is the next big milestones you want to see the Move community achieve? Oh, I think this is just giving us a bit of a wish list. Let's see who wants to take this first wish.
So I think the next major chains need to launch, such as OL itself. So far, we've launched multiple chains since 2019, and right now we are on the mainnet and moving to a new upgrade that we are pulling from the last commit that the DM made. And in our subsequent upgrades, we will be bringing the changes that Aptos made since then, and with that, we will bring Aptos compatibility. And I think with that, we can bring a lot of opportunities for a lot of our ecosystem, Move ecosystem. So people can have more platforms to provide value for their users.
Nice. Do you have a target date for your launch?
So our V6 upgrade has been decided to be around 15th of March, so almost in 2 weeks, 10 days. But yeah, so that's the estimate that we have. But I have to say that's a soft deadline, so it can change a bit, but it's very close. So we are just deciding very minor details in the implementation and when we decide on that, then we can actually launch it in a week from now even. But governance takes some time, so we are going to let it run as long as it needs.
Great, great. It's good to hear always a new change launching in the Move ecosystem. Yeah, everyone, please check out Zero L Network. Waiting for that to be launched in next 2 or 3 weeks yet. And next speaker, anyone wants to have another wish?
I suppose from my perspective, in the business of launching tokens on Aptos, I'd love to see a real liquidity increase where I feel it should be for a market cap, and that's including perhaps native stable coins rather than just bridged assets. I feel that will come organically, with more DeFi options become available. I think we've got plenty of lending platforms so far, but the more tools that are built, such as I'm really looking forward to Tsunami and Jjuunee are doing great work as well. Sate is another one. So for me, that in Aptos DeFi, and also then, as I said before, I'm really big on onboarding, and I'm also really excited about Grand Saga launching. I'm sure you'll hear more about them later on. And just making blockchain games more actually enjoyable and to bridge the gap between widely played games and blockchain games. I was involved in a few before, and they weren't playable, or the longevity was just awful. They wouldn't survive in a competitive game market. So bridging that gap is something, and I think that would cause a tsunami of game developers, especially ones more in tune with Rust, and once they see the sort of potential of Move and on a Aptos, then I hope that would sort of create a chain reaction. Thanks.
Awesome. Steve, you have any other thing to add?
Yeah. I just wanted to talk on improved scalability, as a milestone that we can reach out to overcome. As with many blockchain platforms, scalability is a key challenge for the Move community. To address this, the community can work on developing more efficient consensus mechanisms and sharding solutions that allow for greater throughput and performance on the Move blockchain. This might also also involve exploring new approaches to blockchain architecture and governance that can help support a more scalable and sustainable ecosystem. So that's just what I wanted to put out.
Great, great. That's full of a wish list, and I know this this little Twitter space has been recorded, so we're gonna send this one to the Move Foundation, to the Aptos Lab, to the three Miston Labs, and also Lenera, and of course our Zero L network. And we want to make sure that every engineer gets this, and hopefully we can implement some of these changes to make this ecosystem a better place. Okay, let's move on to next one. What can projects do to give back to their communities? Ooh, okay. Who wants to take this one?
I suppose I can do one point. I suppose there are lots of ways, and I guess there's going to be differences between projects, between a community of an NFT is going to be very different in DeFi. I suppose if we look back at the lessons of 2022, security is obviously going to be a key attribute for Move, but I don't think projects should just rest on their laurels of increased security and take a more prophylactic and proactive approach. And I feel we could be in a similar scenario, say, to the commercial aviation industry, where one big security disaster, one crash, could have a detrimental effect on many. So I think the project should share that burden of responsibility. And I suppose there's others, but I'll leave that for others to do. So I suppose what would you be giving back to the communities would be peace of mind and security.
Great. Any other comment?
So I like to come back to the comment that I made earlier, and that's about the fact that we need to play a long game. And so if you are talking about what we can give back to our communities, I think it's important to always keep this in mind, that we need to play the long game. And it is for that it is important to not to be tied and to our vendors. So one day, these technologies that we are using right now, they are going to be obsolete, and you don't want to be tied to your cap. You don't want to tie your capital when those technologies are getting obsolete. At the OL, for example, we are decoupling the token from what the blockchain needs, and you can decouple Bitcoin from their network security model. But we are doing that. So right now we are moving we are changing our whole consensus model to a completely new thing. So the design is completely different in the next upgrade, and we are moving the whole capital to the new design. So hearing these things may sound a bit new to a lot of people, but OL looks different because it is different. And we've got the longer game, and our vendor Facebook gave us the game. We are not going to be pushing the limits of the technology. Our engineering team and technologists are always on the lookout for the best next vendor. So I can make an analogy for our audience to understand it a bit better. So if you go back a bit to the 90s, we had database vendors, and some projects had to build their own databases. For example, Netscape, they tried to build their own database for their solution, for their business. And anyone focused on the database for their solution, for their business, were on the wrong, because it's a mistake to be your own vendor. Another way that you can think of it is by, you don't want to be the rails, you want to be the one that rides it. Or another third example would be, for example, you don't want to be the internet service provider in the 90s anymore, because there's a very short period of a window of opportunity for you as an ISP. What you want to be is the Amazon, you want to be the Google. So I think providing a better alternative to the capital and not tying to our vendors is what should be the focus that can bring values to our communities.
Great, totally agree. Any other comments?
Yeah, just quickly adding a little bit. I think from a project perspective, we just need to build good product and deliver to the community, something that's truly useful for people. Then over the long time, it's going to bring the value that we should bring to the community.
Well said. Here at Blast API, we also believe that providing everyone a democratic way of accessing all the on-chain data is fast and cheap. That's always going to be the goals that we're striving to, and we think this is also the best way to contribute to the communities. Anything else that we want to add to this topic?
Well, I feel like one of the best ways to motivate your community, like give back to your community, is incentives. You guys, like, I don't know why most people are not talking about it, but incentives most times motivate people to do more. You get, so like giving grants, encouraging more developers in your community, like will actually bring more engagement. And if it's not in the incentive part, another way of giving back to the community is by organizing like tutorials and providing documentation, like projects providing documentations and tutorials that will help other developers learn how to use the Move blockchain, know how to use the Move programming language, because this can help lower the barrier for entry to new developers and make it easier to build on the platform.
Yeah, on that note, I totally agree. And something at OL we try to do, and we are still doing that, is that we launch an initiative for anyone who's interested with any skill set, any level, to join series of Rust and Move sessions, training sessions. And we had our one of our superstar engineers leading the sessions, and not only we encourage everyone to join these sessions as they were open to everyone to learn about the DM all code base and to learn about Rust, Move. We even incentivize them by saying that, you look, if you want to learn Rust or Move, awesome, join us. Not only we are going to teach you that, we are even going to pay you. So what we've done is that we provided 10K gas token from all blockchain to anyone who participated in those sessions. And as long as they joined the session, they received those tokens as their rewards. And all they had to do was that they should have made a pull request to our GitHub repository to say that they were there and provide their wallet address to us. And that's one way that we try to provide value to our community and embrace them.
Thanks. Okay, let's move on to next question. But before moving on to next question, I want to do a little shout out. I see a lot of NFT icons here in the house. I think Das Ex Machina just left. I mean, if anyone knows this project, please say hi. I bought your mint, the first mint. So yeah, you're great. And we also see Aptomingos, yeah, in the house. And then, of course, and we have Aptos monkeys in the house. Great. And what else? I'm sorry, I couldn't get all the names, and time's constraint. If I don't read your project name or NFT name, please, you can DM me, and we will promote again next time. And the last but not least, our favorite, my favorite, you can see my icon, Brop Bear. Okay, all right. Sorry, this is a little bit of selfish promotion, but yep. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next question. How can projects better embrace their communities as a source of feedback and ideas? How can projects better embrace their communities as a source of feedback and ideas? Little tricky. Can anyone answer this question?
All right, so maybe I can give some comments on this one. So we think that it comes a day that the profits are not making sense anymore as a blockchain vendor or infrastructure provider. And at OL, most of our technical talent goes to the mechanism design as opposed to infrastructure design. And what I want to lead this to is to say that legal certainty is our superpower. And in 2023, I think this is the year that the American projects are gonna suffer a lot of scrutiny, and we hope to escape that. And I think our community is going to benefit from it. So by the design that we provided without a foundation and central treasury, that's something that we can provide to them. And it's something that entrepreneurs can appreciate, because then they don't have to worry about building on a chain that's going to be that's not going to be scrutinized because of the legal issues. And I think that's something that all blockchain, all network try to encourage and tries to build from the beginning. And I encourage everyone to also focus on this matter as well.
Great. Do we have any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, so my background has been product management. So from my perspective, everything is about getting early feedback before you even have a final product. You have MVP that you test with people, getting real people feedback, then you iterate on and on. So that's a very good opportunity for us to start building from all the way starting from DAppNet over to testnet, then eventually over to mainnet. For the case of Sui, one thing I use our community for feedback is everything goes small release. We get people start testing, not only start testing bugs or if anything is going wrong, but also understanding where people think the product is, if they have any feedback and what feature they feel is missing. And during that iterative process, especially we are not on mainnet yet, we have a little bit of wiggle room for making mistakes, and also really to see if people are getting their value from the product. So I value that a lot. So what we do is we generally do engagement on Discord or Twitter to understand what the community is feeling and where they think is missing. And that has been super helpful from product perspective.
Great. Well, here at the Blast API, we also take a very similar approach. Since we're a smaller scale providers, and particularly working with Move ecosystem partners, we often get pretty responsive feedback from our users. Sometimes they just drop us a line on Telegram or Discord. We can pretty much get back to them within like half an hour, and some of the product feedbacks that we get really helps us to push us because we're kind of sort of boring stuff. It's infrastructure, but sometimes we get some feedback. We can actually improve our service and product features and onto the next level. So yeah, I think that's a great one. Steve, you got hands up. All right, let's bring you on.
Yeah, I feel that conducting user research is like a very big part of this because you know projects can conduct user research to better understand the needs and preferences of their communities. This might involve surveys, focus groups, or maybe interviews with community members time to time. By gaining a deeper understanding of their users, like projects can create more targeted and effective solutions. And by running community driven development sprints is also a way. Projects can organize development sprints or hackathons that are focused on specific features or areas of the project. By involving the community in the development process, projects can like benefit from a wider range of perspectives and ideas, as well as generate excitement, you understand, and engagement around the project. And lastly, I will always emphasize on incentives. Like occasionally, time to time, we at Aptos Monkeys, we hold a contest. Like we hold contests on ideas. Like members can bring ideas up for upcoming tools, things that you need in the Aptos space, in the Move blockchain. Then we incentivize it. Like we put a price tag on it. Like anybody like that comes up with like the best ideas will receive rewards. So this will like make the members like to like think further to give it their best, and in turn improve the general community service. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Yep. Great. Let's. Do we have any other comment on this one?
Hey guys, I just want to comment over kind of what Steve was saying. So I'm Jay Porter. I'm the community manager and I help run operations over at Aptos Monkey. So nice to meet you guys back here today. I was here earlier and then I went out to dinner with the family. But yeah, just to kind of touch on what Steve was saying, we have a lot of leeway with the devs that we have. We have 2 full-time devs over at Aptos Monkeys, and we have a lot of leeway with what we can build. So a lot of times we'll run competitions or contests, kind of what Steve was saying, to see what the Apto ecosystem needs, what we can utilize to push it forward, and kind of support other communities and projects that we have kind of going on within our ecosystem. So this is something we run frequently. A lot of the ideas, it's stuff that we've either kind of rambled off in our own heads or new ideas that they bring to us to try to help move things forward. The biggest thing is, aside from utility, this is something that Aptos Mingos or Bro Bears and others that utilize all the time, is that community is a utility. And that is something that you kind of help band them together and allow them to realize that their ideas matter just as much as ours do. If anyone's looked at our roadmap, we've kind of deterred from our roadmap quite a bit. And we did that because we utilize the community and their ideas to kind of uplift them. They're up and coming developers, they're up and coming moderators, community managers, gift lords for Shamrock. So there's so many different people with ideas and motivations, and we utilize that to kind of put those ideas on paper and then make them a reality with the things that we utilize. So I think utilizing that community, because even though we have a core team, and I like to think that we have an extremely brilliant and strong team, the community is even stronger when they bring their ideas to play. So whether it's for a contest or just something we ramble around, it's extremely valuable to put that back into the ecosystem.
Well said. Yeah, especially when you mentioned that sometimes your product roadmap might not always along with the community. Sometimes you just have to alter it, and it's good that you have that flexibility to do so and really listen to the community. I think that's wonderful. Okay, let's move on to next question. Which other communities in Web3 are you most impressed by? Do you look to them for inspiration or ideas? Oh, I love this one. Okay, guys.
Stanley,
Anyone?
I think it's your turn.
Well, I mean, so I, I, okay. Let me prepare for a little bit. I think I see a hand. All right.
Yeah, actually, while you prepared, I can step in and can name one which obviously inspiring. It's God Hates NFTs from Ethereum blockchain. This community is such insane. They raid each other. They're so active in any NFT spaces. They're shilling their project. They have Sir Peters, their founder, built such an amazing ecosystem. They have if I remember good, they have 5 projects by now. Just to be clear, it's not some kind of shilling. I'm really impressed by this community. You obviously need to check it, because how they actually act, they act like an ant farm, like one living organism. They're really, really insane.
Okay, I prepared. So just a little disclaimer. I'm still actually very new to the Web3 space. But over the period of time where I have been studying about the different community, and I've talked about this with some of my friends in the ecosystem. We do think that the Ethereum Foundation itself, actually surprisingly is one of the most effective and pretty amazing, organization overall. Because if you look at, we talked to some of the engineer, especially on the infrastructure side, for them to actually do a merge, the great merge of last year, everything went smooth. And in fact, the whole community was not organized even on Discord. It was organized on GitHub. If you think about that, I think that's just some truly amazing thing that they were doing. They really mobilized the whole community without even having a lot of these profit-driven motives, and really just for doing the public good, especially on the infrastructure side, so that everybody can build on top of that. I truly think that was amazing. And here, just I see that the Move ecosystem is still very small. We are just starting out, right? The members, the builders, and everyone here is just getting started. So I really, really hope that the whole community can unite it as one, and we can attract more users and more builders coming to our space. So just despite admiring other community, but we think here we have a very good start to build. We don't have to just admire Ethereum is doing great, but we can one day hopefully we can say that the Move ecosystem was great. They organized themselves, they mobilized it. The different blockchain layer 1 here and layer 2 here all befriended with each other, and we all help each other to grow and to support each other. I think that would be wonderful to see. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. Do we have any other comments here from other?
Yeah, I got a quick one. Don't judge me on that. Opinions of my own. So personally, even though the Aptos 3 are supposed to be Solana killer, I'm still pretty impressed by the Solana ecosystem, and their community is super super strong. I see a lot of people they're super loyal to Solana, and there are influencers and there are things like DJ News. They constantly shit posting about what's happening in the ecosystem and make it really fun for someone to be in that ecosystem. So and also from a product perspective, they have many new innovations coming. Even though it's going a little bit downhill and there are lots of thoughts about Solana, but I quite like to see it's quite interesting to see they are working on the mobile front, and they have their own mobile operation system, and there are new products constantly coming out. So that bit I really like it. But I think we have the potential. The whole Move ecosystem does have the potential to be the next Solana, given the amount of innovation we have in the technology and what we can achieve with it. It's just a matter of time. But right now, I do think Solana is a pretty good community over there.
Yeah, I love it. I agree with everyone. At the same time, I think Dogecoin offers an honest product, and this is my own view, by the way. And I think no one expected to be anything more than fun, and I think that's impressive.
Yep. Do we have any other comments? Oops, on this one. Okay. Yeah. So I think we run out of the question, and the time is about right. Do we have the next? Do we have any other questions or final things that you wanted to share with the community? Feel free to share your final thoughts.
I don't really have anything, but I didn't thank the Pontem and the organizers and sponsors for the invite. I think it was really it's good. And I've organized conferences before, so I do appreciate the amount of work and the thankless tasks they can often be. So thanks everyone to the speakers, and I'm listening on intently.
Awesome, great. So yeah, here I really thank all the attendees on the panels, and so thank you for Pontem putting everything together, and thanks for all the partners here in the ecosystems. Finally, I really wish that we are united as one. We're all the Move family. We want to just be, the building the whole Move community strong. And really moving forward, right? Make a good move, everyone. All right, let's transition this panel to the next. Do we actually have the next panel, Pontem? Hi, Bear. Do we have another Bear?
Yes, I'm here. So yeah, thank you, Stanley. Thank you for putting this together and moderating. Let me get the next folks up. I know we're a little bit early, 10 minutes. So yeah, if anybody has any more questions or comments, let's definitely keep the ball rolling. Or if anybody wants to go up here and tell some stand-up jokes or some stories, also welcome to. I guess one question to throw out there that I have is, how do we think about Move maybe expanding it beyond it as a crypto community? And I think there's a lot of potential tribalism that we see, but overall, especially in bear markets, I think we should all find ways to stick together. I heard some thoughts about Solana, for example. But yeah, really curious to hear, because I think the especially with Bitcoin, it seems to be almost like a trope to say that there's like maxis and they hate everything that's not Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, it's a relatively small space. So yeah, kind of curious to hear everyone's perspectives, or here in the audience how everyone thinks about some of the other ecosystems and crypto overall, and how can we move forward together as a big community, and just grow the entire space. And in the meantime, I'll try to get some of the folks up for the next panel up. Yeah, go for it, Shamrock. No need to raise your hand.
Yeah, actually, wanted to mention one thing that everyone trying to raise concerns with the Solana, but we have to remember that actually it been grown during so-called summer of Solana. And it was, pumping hard, and of course, many people joined it, and some strong communities being built during the one of the most insane bull markets ever. And we have to remember that we here currently building during insane downtrend, and we will onboard many people, obviously. But for now, the main purpose is to have some, real core community, and have a really strong relationship, and support each other, in any case, like in building, in just cheering up, like you said, some stand-up jokes, whatever. We have to stay motivated, because obviously my markets go always in cycles. Sorry, it's almost 4 a.m. for me, so my English is not really perfect. But obviously a bull market will come, not soon or soon, whatever, but there will be many FOMO and many users will come. But we have to, just care about right now. In my opinion, it's only my opinion, we have to care about, our core, and onboard some maybe been mentioned earlier, some ETH maxis, or maybe Solana maxis, if possible. It's not, it's not a must, because in my opinion, as I said, we obviously will have tons of new users.
And I'd like to add a little here. Since I see that some of the layer one chains here in the Move ecosystems, are trying to target it on, a blockchain for everybody, and I think that's a great direction to head to. Before the bull market, I think the whole blockchain ecosystem was mainly attracted only the diehard fans, or very specific group of people. But as we have already been through one boom and bust cycle, and some of the really great builders still contributing to the community and building some product. I've seen a lot of Web2 companies are coming in, and a lot of more user-friendly interface have been designed. A lot of good user experience have really been talked about. Some of these, for example, on the game side, there's a lot of traditional game companies are coming in and try to bring some new gaming experience to the space, and I think that's really great. So, I think my 2 cents is that instead of just focusing on a small, very specific group, we are, I think the best thing is to actually invent and create a more user-friendly product to onboard a lot of more broadened audience who do not have any sophisticated technology skills to be able to use the product smoothly. In the end of the day, they don't really care what kind of blockchain you're building on, but they really care about what kind of product you can provide to them. And if you can let your grandmother use it seamlessly, but it's actually a Web3 or a blockchain product, great. So yeah. let's keep building, and I think with this new technology and also all the great infrastructure in the space evolves, we're gonna have seen a lot of new more user-friendly product coming out. So yeah, let's keep building. Thank you.
That's definitely a great heuristic. If our grandmothers can use this stuff, we'll know we'll reach mass adoption. First, so we have 5 minutes. We have some of the speakers coming on. Chad Lee, thank you for hopping on and co-hosting, helping us get the algorithms going to beef up for these last 2 sessions. Shamrock, thank you for being.
Of course.
Shamrock, thank you for being an OG here and staying up late. I think you've been here the entire time with me. So yeah, awesome to have you on here and also representing, helping the algos pick this up. Pretty crazy. We've gone over.
You're welcome.
Yeah, of course. We've gone over 100. We maxed above 200 concurrently. I'm sure like thousands. Once we look back, thousands of people have joined over the course of the day and over the course of the weekend. It's going to be awesome getting this out there. I see Rico, 0L OG also raising his hand. I think you joined late, so yeah, definitely come up and obviously you're welcome to also stay on for the next session too if you want to stay on.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thanks. That's really kind. I appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, I'm Rico Flan. I'm one of the core contributors to the 0L community. But I caught all of this session actually, and talking about unlocking the power of Move communities is a super worthy topic. But I mean, I think fundamentally the best thing we as a collective can do is provide earning opportunities for Move developers. And that means we need to be thinking about how these various platforms can, leverage that Move experience and Move tooling to make a richer environment that's attractive to dApp developers and people who are fluent in writing in Move. That's the way this needs to happen. We cannot deteriorate into a set of general purpose L1s that are out to cut each other's throats. I mean, we need to work together. And if we look at things like what's happening with, the Ethereum world and the proliferation of L2s, we look at Cosmos, the Cosmos hub, the proliferation of dApp chains, that ability to be able to move assets and knowledge across chains is absolutely critical. And we've got to start building those bridges within this Move family of sites if we really want to be competitive with those dynamic ecosystems. I think fundamentally that's really the most important thing that we all need to work toward, and make it possible for people to earn money writing Move and to get excited about using Move because it is a superior solution to some of the other things that are out there. And yes, Solidity, I'm looking at you. But that's it for me. Thanks for inviting me up to the stage. I'm on stage with you guys tomorrow, and I'll be tuning in tomorrow as well. Thanks a bunch.
Also, thank you, Rico. You've definitely been an OG in the space, the Move space, and yeah, really commend all the work that y'all are doing to drive this open community around Move, and definitely agree. And it's the work that we put in here to bring people together to educate folks about Move. Independent of any L1, I think I've mentioned throughout my entire time that I love Ethereum, I love Bitcoin. I love to see some of the initiatives around making Move accessible to all. I think it's going to entirely grow all the chains that are supported Move natively if we can bring this language to everyone. Rust, as we all know, is overtaking C as a very popular language. I think Move similarly can do this for the crypto space. And as you were mentioning, we just need to create more opportunities. We need to build more of the tooling so that we have parity with Ethereum and Solidity. And then once we're one-to-one, I think it's a no-brainer for most developers entering the space. Using Rust with a framework that essentially makes it look a lot like Solidity or a TypeScript language is huge. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Stanley, for moderating this. This is a really great session. And yeah, we'll start transitioning into the next one. We have Chad.